So welcome to the Node.js Node API team meeting for December 15th, 2023. We'll follow our standard approach of going through the issues that we have tagged for milestone 11. So let me just share my screen with that. Okay, that's not what I wanted for some reason. I think I got it. So start out with anything new that we want to let people know about in terms of Node API or NotAddon API. I guess nothing new this week. I think in terms
We might, sorry, we might need to make a release because since it has been about half a year since we make a last release, so on the NotAddon API, so that
yeah,
might
let me
be a
just
interesting topic on what's new.
sure. Like
Also,
I
there
think
is the first issue is about um uh documentation not aligned with the latest release because we have been making a lot of changes since the last release. So yeah, it might be a good point to make a release.
okay. So that's like I think yeah, we have an issue open for a new release. Um so I think like it sounds like maybe that's one that you think we should include, like make the changes before we did that, right?
Um, I didn't ask for any new changes, but I would like to say make a release before or after the holiday. And there is a PR open by Gabriel. So I would like to ask by Gabriel if you would like to include that change in the release.
You mean the one that increases the test matrix?
This one. It's
Yeah, this one.
ability to run under an API experimental.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't want to hold up the release for that. I mean, it's not blocking any kind of release. So I mean, we can land this PR before or after.
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay, I'd suggest we do like a release early in January then.
Sounds good to me. Um, yeah, I was thinking that dropping should should we drop in make a release make a major version release sorry, the last release is a major version release of not add-on API version 7, and since then we didn't make any minor version or patch version release. So I'm talking about that should we make a minor version release without dropping the Node.js v16 and make a major version release with the
Okay.
Java version. So I'm asking to see if it is reasonable for us so to do this approach because the version 7 of Node add-on API doesn't include any minor version release. So yeah, that's a point.
Right, okay. So basically, because the only reason we were doing a major was to drop support for 16.x.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I don't have any concerns with us doing one which would like package all the new stuff, put into a minor, and then do a major right after that. Sounds reasonable to me.
It works for me
Yeah.
too.
Okay. I'll just capture that in the issue there. I can't remember. Chinzong, did you do the last release?
No, I don't have access to the npm package.
Okay. Would you like to do a release or?
Yeah, sure, I can do it.
Okay, so yeah, we can set it up so that you can have access to do that. And so let's sync up in January and then we can move that forward.
Of course.
I just figure like lots of people be going away in the next few weeks, so it's probably better to just do that when everybody's back.
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea to do less surprising thing before the holiday.
Right. And then like if we're all away and something goes wrong, and it probably won't, but you never know.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. Any other sort of new things that we want to chat about in terms of what's new in this first one here? Okay, if not, I think on sort of our more long-standing ones, like adding the list of non-C language bindings, driving for full coverage, and adding debug testing, I don't think there's any updates. We can flip into the stale issues. I don't see any new stale issues, so I don't think there's really too much to chat about there either. So why don't we can flip over. We were already looking in this repo, in the NotAddon API repo. So anything in particular people want to call out to discuss? This one sounds like, Gabriel, you're working on, but like not necessarily, it's not like it didn't sound like it was blocked or that it would necessarily be done super soon, right?
Yeah, now the prerequisite has landed in core, so I can start working on it again.
Sounds good. Take a look at issues. So this one, Chenzong, you were mentioning we've got some updates.
Yeah, we can close it once we make a minor version release in January.
Okay, so it's mostly because we haven't done a release versus the docs actually not being up to date.
Yeah, it's more like to say it's more newer than the version we just released.
Right. Okay, got it. Okay, that's good. This one, I guess we just need somebody to take a look at and give a suggestion unless somebody has an immediate suggestion.
Yeah, I was composing a reply to this thread, but I didn't have the chance to post it. So I
Okay.
might be do it tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. I think otherwise I don't really see anything new there to discuss, so I can flip over to Node. And okay, going to that.
Yeah, I would like to bring up the first PR.
Okay.
It's a it it is addressing an issue that blocking the Node.js currency update
Okay.
because it when the V8 version when the V8 is being updated, an issue in our test is
Okay.
being failing with debug build, and the reason behind the failure is that we are assuming V8 external value can we can add a private property on the V8 external value, whilst the API construct of V8 external value is that it cannot create any property. So that's the issue. Before the update, uh, the assumption doesn't align with the fact that we can add additional property on it, so that we
Right.
previously we can add properties on the external value, and Vid was refactoring the external implementation. So after the update, we cannot add any properties on it.
Okay.
So that's why it is failing with the new V8 version.
Okay. So, but basically what you've done then is you put a wrapper around it so that we can put the properties on that wrapper versus the external itself.
Yeah, exactly. So that we can save the tab tag in the native wrapper structure instead of adding a private property on the external object tab.
Yeah, and I commented on this PR. My concern is actually it makes external a bit more expensive in Node API after that.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't come up with any smart approach alternative to the current one because, since we cannot add any properties to a weird external value, so we don't have any additional slot to distinguish if a weird external value has a Node API type tag or not, so that we cannot save an additional space for the weird external that doesn't have a Node API type tag.
But I just wonder, like if there is no property, then we know that it's not a wrapper, right?
No, we cannot distinguish if a row pointer is a wrapper or user provided external value, right? Since it's a row pointer.
Okay, so it's a pointer, not an object.
Yeah, there's no additional information about the
Yeah.
pointer. If the pointer is a user provided or a Node API wrapper.
Yeah, I'm sorry. During PR, I didn't notice that it was fixing this issue. One proposal I would make, we can actually use least significant bit of a pointer, which we store inside of external to decide if do we have wrapper or not. So imagine like most people, if they're doing external data, say they mostly like to maybe store some pointer. Most pointers probably don't have a least significant bit set. So in this case, if it's not set, we just store it as is and no tagging, whatnot. But
Yeah, sorry, please go ahead.
But if we want to kind of store tag, then we pretty much we will store something external data which has this least significant bit set. In this case, we know like we need to remove this least significant bit, and we will point to this wrapper, and pretty much everything what you already done would work as is. In very unlikely case, if people give us pointer which has this least significant bit set, then we just use wrapper anyway. Like so, technically, we say if we given pointer which does not have this least significant bit set and we don't need tag, we just use it as is. But if it's set or people want to have tag or we want to add tag later, we can create this wrapper. So technically, your solution is great, but we will effectively use it not 100% of the time, but only when we can't do anything else. Just an idea.
Yeah, using a significant bit and yeah, this sounds like a good approach alternative to me, but I can try to update the PR. Thanks for the suggestion. I was thinking that previously that user might provide arbitrary point value so that we cannot distinguish assume the significant bit is not used by user. Yeah, but your suggestion that when user provided a pointer, you actually set the significant bit, we can just fall back to the wrapper. Sounds good to me.
Sounds good. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess I'd say that's good. If it starts to get complicated enough that it's going to take you a bunch of time, and we're actually blocking like the V8 update, like, if you're going to say, hey, it's going to take me 2 or 3 weeks because I'm busy, maybe we should land this and then add that as an optimization afterwards.
It works too. It works too. Like yes, that's from my point of view. Yes, like
I'll see
I have
if
a
yeah, please go ahead.
So this pointer addressing convention with the least significant bit not set, is this portable across all Node.js supported architectures and platforms?
it should be like in one of the scenarios. I kind of tried to use kind of not least significant bit. I was using some kind of smarter scheme about like shifting pointer, doing some kind of crazy stuff. What I found that the biggest issue in other scenarios, it was, for example, on the Mac platform, then people turn on this memory leak detection. It's basically kind of on mark and sweep algorithm essentially. And all my other kind of ways to kind of mangle this pointer didn't really work well. But if I use just least significant bits, in this case we use one, but in my case I was using three last bits, worked much better because in the end it was still kind of looking like a pointer. This garbage collection like algorithm in Mac was still pointing to the right memory, so they can still kind of trace all this memory correctly. So I found that it works usually pretty well.
Yeah, it's
and,
pretty. It's a common technique in garbage collectors to use those extra bits, like for their own purposes in terms of like. So, I'd be surprised if it's going to be, like you said, have problems across platforms.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, my plan is to see if I can come up with a update in the next week, or we can try to do this in a follow-up, since it doesn't introduce any new feature, rather like a optimization on the current approach. So that I'll reach out to Michael to see if this is blocking the fiat currency update. So if so, we can send this PR to unblock the fiat currency, or we can just wait with the optimization. Yeah,
Sounds
that's my
good. Just
plan.
let us know one way or the other, and if we need to unblock it, we can make sure we help get it expedited.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to sign off this PR as is because, like I said, address real issue and it's already kind of passing like all PR validation. A quick question about this linked binding, because linked binding test, it doesn't say anything in description about this change. Could you comment on it a bit?
Yeah, I can update the PR to include a comment why the change. I can also do summarize why change is that in this linked binding test, we assumed the API external value is a plain v8 external wrapper around the user provided value. So with this PR, this assumption is not true. So because it's the value of a v8 external is a node API wrapper instead of the row pointer user provided. So I'm using I'm just update the assumption with an external wrapper instead. So this is another assumption on the Node API internal implementation. So since I didn't come up with a good Node API alternative with the test, but I can try to see if we can do it in a pure Node API way rather than assuming the internal Node API representation of the value.
Right. No real code should be doing this because it wouldn't be ABI stable or guaranteed. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the internal test that assuming the internal representation of a Node API value.
But yeah, explaining that in the PR would be good just for the history, if nothing else.
Yeah, sure. I can update the comment in the PR.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, let me get back to the list here. This one, I think I know, as I think if I remember, this one is pretty much ready to go. We just got to get the CI to pass. Right?
Yeah, the Mac OS disk is full, and I believe Joey has rebooted the machine, so I can restart the CI to see if it can pass.
Okay, here, I'll just do that right while I'll take
Oh,
one
yeah,
second to
that'd be
resume the
great.
build.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so that one, yeah, nothing really to discuss, just should be, once we get it to land. Oops, did I go too far back? I must have, sorry, go forward. Okay, maybe here, okay. Nope.
And
Okay, I will get the query back to you. This one, I think, Gabriel, you've mentioned is ready to go, right? And I think I even saw Vladimir, you commented on it and yep.
No, I just signed off, and I think it's exactly the same issue in CI. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So
Thanks
let
all
me
for
just
reviewing.
resume that one as well.
Actually, I might have resumed it already, so
Okay, yeah, it looks
should
like
be
it's
in
running,
progress.
so yep, good thing. Okay, great. Okay, here we go. I guess then any others that we should chat about? If not, I'm gonna be away next Friday and the Friday following that. So I don't know how many people are gonna be around. If we'll have enough, we can get an alternate person to run the meeting.
Yeah, I'll probably be away as well.
Okay, so maybe we should cancel the next two. Does that make sense? Then we'll come back in January.
I'm going to be up the first 2 weeks of January, just FYI. I'm
Okay.
planning a trip. So technically it's I probably will only able to join you on like 12 plus the 19th of January.
Okay, that's good to know. Thanks for the heads up.
okay, sounds good to me. I can honestly, I'll be available in the next few weeks since it's not a holiday in my location. So yeah, so please, if there is anything, I'll be available on GitHub, and feel free to reach out to me.
Sounds great. Okay, well, thanks for everybody's time. And if we don't see you in GitHub or beforehand, everybody, if you do have a break, have a good break. And otherwise, we'll see everybody back in January for the next meeting. Thanks.
See you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Talk to you
Thank
later.
you.
bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Happy holidays.